Welcome, citizen, to another StarCraft Nation broadcast. This is your host, Venerati. In today's segment, we're going to be covering NAW number 2. This is the Diamond tier, so we are bound to have a great game. Now, this game was picked by the winner of the tournament to be cast, as the other one I had to pick because he didn't pick it himself. Or wait, no, it was actually the other way around. Scythe ended up picking his, but the winner of this one didn't, so I picked it as this was one of the better ones, as I actually saw this was a pretty interesting game, and I had to cast this one. So we are going to see Kentrolla as the blue Terran, and we're going to have Copperhead spawning as the teal Protoss. Of course, we are on... Oh my, what is this? Lost Temple! Yeah, that's right, boys and girls. We're on Lost Temple, as the other one was on Lost Temple as well. And a lot of matches go on Lost Temple, because Lost Temple is actually pretty damn awesome. And I hear a lot of people talk about it as sort of, you know, what race is favored on each map. And I hear a lot of people say Terran. And the reason why I hear, or the reason cited as Terran is being so OP on this map, is this nice little piece of real estate right up here. And you know what that is right there? That's that natural right there. And you just stick a nice little tank, or you stick a Thor, and they can range in on the Nexus in this case, or just basically the command center, or whatever the hell it is that you've got down there, and they can just lay waste to it. And it's kind of a pain to clear this if you are not ready. And I guess we have some lolcats going on down here. I don't know. I've also kind of heard recently, I read something about cats and nerds, and that all nerds have cats, and that's why cats are so popular on the internet. Don't know, but this is just really exemplifying that, because apparently both these guys have cats. So, totally getting distracted here, but either way, we do have Kentrolla blocking off the main gateway. Sorry, we're gonna have fun with that name today, as he is going to be putting up the supply depots up here. I'm not really sure why he's doing this, as he is going up against a Protoss and even a 2-gate. Yeah, these supply depots, they did get buffed. They used to be 350, but they are still just wafer thin, as it's just like a 10 hut, or there you go, 3 little pigs. It's a straw hut, and all you got to do is come over there and with a slight gust of wind, and blam, you are through and cleaving into some Marines. However, we do have a very brazen SCV coming over here, and it is scouting out Copperhead's base for Kentrolla, and Kentrolla is about to have the favor returned by this nice little probe, but the probe is not going to be able to get in, as Kentrolla is going to use his Marine and lay some hell down on this probe, but it did not actually take any damage because it's got those super awesome shields, and it shall mend itself and return back to its nice flock. And actually, no, it's not. It's going to sit here by the Zelnaga Tower and probably die later on. A pretty grisly death, as we do have a mule online for Kentrolla. Kentrolla doing a really good job. Well, Kentrolla just doing what Terrans do, I guess, as these mules are really, really powerful, as it is able to really bridge the gap, as you would generally see, as the Protoss are able to chrono boost out their economy. I believe Copperhead was doing that earlier, as he's not maintained a constant chrono boost, not even choosing to chrono boost his warp gate, as Copperhead could benefit from doing that. However, we see a 1-1-1 build from a Protoss player here, as we did see Copperhead throw down the Gateway, Cyber, and Robo, so we might be seeing some early Immortals anticipating a 3 racks push, maybe, but that is not what Kentrolla is doing. Kentrolla is using his factory to the max and is building the tech lab here. He's going to be jumping that tech lab, or jumping the starport over to the tech lab. Probably going to be throwing either a Raven or a Banshee. Probably a Banshee, as you do see Banshees a hell of a lot more than you do see Ravens out here. And we do see a second one coming down here, so we're probably going to see a Thor, or no, not this, or this. He does not have an armory coming down, but he'll probably see a tank. Actually, yes, we do see a Banshee coming down, so that we are going to see some Banshee harass on Copperhead, so Copperhead is going to have to deal with that in some form or fashion. However, we do see the Observer coming down, which the Observer is great. I believe all Protoss players should be using the Observers, as they are your little eye in the sky, but the key fact is that the Observers are able to neutralize the Banshee advantage of Cloak. A 2 Stargate Cloak Banshee push can be really devastating if you don't have anything to reveal the cloak, which at this level you don't really catch that many players off guard, but you do see that still sometimes. It's just a really shitty way to lose, as you're sitting there and you're like, woo, I'm gonna pump out an army, and then all of a sudden you lose because you don't have a cloak, or you can't see anything that's invisible. So it can be frustrating. That's why you should have always have something that can see those crazy invisible units, and we actually will see a Raven coming. So it's pretty rare to see a Raven this early on. I'm not really used to seeing it that much. Wow, look at the saturation on it. That is just beautiful. Either way, this Raven is really going to be able to help Kentrolla out, because he's not going to have to waste his scans to kill these damn observers. As a Terran player, it's just so annoying to have these observer camping out on your base, because you got to either choose to waste the scan on it or just let it kind of peek over your base and just really neuter the effectiveness of this little powerful peninsula of power. Damn, use your words, boy. As we do see it sitting up here, and this Immortal is just going to be able to lay some hell down on this. Now, the Stalkers do not have Blink. If they did have Blink, they'd really be able to persecute this advantage that Kentrolla has right now. Kentrolla desperately trying to get these bunkers up in time, as these bunkers will be able to be sniped, and these supply depots are going to be sniped right here. Now, I'd like to see Kentrolla. Actually, Kentrolla does a really good job placing that auto turret right there, really putting up some sort of defense, as he really does need it right now. Now, the forces are pretty even, but this Immortal is really going to do a great job of busting open this bunker, and just is really tearing it open and getting that juicy center that is those Marines. Now, we do have this medevac getting pretty ballsy coming out here, because we do have Copperhead moving up the ramp ever so slightly, trying to ping on this barracks, as now Kentrolla is actually supply locked. So great job by Copperhead here, sniping those supply depots, not just walking away from this engagement empty-handed, as he was able to clear out a lot of this, was able to kill those Hellions off early on. We do see the Hellions throwing down some fire, as we do see the Stalkers replying to all of the engagement right there, as we did see a couple of them go down right there. So really even right now. Let's go take a look at the loss tab, as they are, yes, exactly, dead even as far as resources go. We do see another auto turret coming down for Kentrolla, so Kentrolla using the Raven to its max, as I would like to see him hunt down this Observer, as they are very useful. They are so easy to kill. I mean, they have 60 HP. I mean, you can just pop that thing like no one's business. However, Kentrolla is not really going after this Observer with as much persecution as I'd like to see. However, Copperhead is bringing the Nexus down. So, Copperhead taking advantage of his push. However, he is not taking advantage of the Chrono Boost. This is shame on you, Copperhead, as he has 88 points of Chrono boosting, radiant mana on his Nexus. However, we do see Kentrolla will be going after this Observer. Will he be able to get it? And, oh, maybe. Come on, you want to do it? Yes, there we go. Haha. So now, Kentrolla doing a good job of using that Raven and popping that dirty little eye blister that floats around in the sky, as we do see a robotics bay coming online. So Copperhead is going to be anticipating the bio ball that is going to be forming from Kentrolla, as he does have most of his units are. In fact, that we don't see any Vikings on the field for Kentrolla at this moment, and we don't see an expansion. Kentrolla is really going to be backing himself in a corner if he does not choose to expand sometime soon, as we do actually see him bring on a command center. So I believe that is what he is thinking. However, I'm not psychic, so I really don't know, as we do see shields coming on for Kentrolla. So Kentrolla is going to be using a lot of Marines, and we do see a Observer just leaving right there, and we do see another Observer coming online. So Copperhead is going to continue to keep the espionage up, and he is just doing a really good job of getting his economy up and running right now, as he is populating his first expansion right there. So that natural is going to be online. We're only seeing 3 gates right now, so I really feel that he could get a third or maybe a 4th gate. Now, I like this position right here, as Copperhead does have full battlefield awareness, is anticipating this Banshee. And watch this Banshee. This Banshee is about to get wrecked. And, oh, that's right, run away, but it's not going to be enough. Boom, there she goes, as her day was just ruined. Good job of Copperhead using those units, putting them there. I don't know necessarily about the Immortals needing to be there. Maybe he could even throw them up here on the power of Peninsula. I'm not going to be able to coin that if I keep screwing it up. Either way, the Peninsula of Power. Good God, can't use my words. Either way, Kentrolla is going to be moving out a little bit. It looks like he is about ready to fly this orbital command over. And let's go ahead and take a look at the production tab. As we do see Thermal Lance coming on, and we do see Pre-Igniter. So I'm not really sure about the Pre-Igniter, as I don't really feel that the Hellions are going to be super, super effective against the Zealot Immortal Stalker mix that we do have going on. No, I'm not playing. I didn't make it that far. As actually, I was part of this tournament in the early rounds. I was just really fodder, as I totally did get my head kicked in on this matchup. So there are some pretty good players, as I don't really count myself as a stellar player, but I think 1900 level diamond players what I went up against or something like that. Either way, it was a lot of fun, and I hope this match has been entertaining for y'all so far, as we are seeing quite a buildup of forces, and we are hopefully going to have some sort of action coming up here relatively soon, as we do have more Ravens here for Kentrolla, as we do see a third Raven just finishing up here. Now, I'm surprised that we haven't seen Hunter Seeker missiles, as Hunter Seeker missiles are so dangerous, especially when you get the upgrade from, let's see, we did not actually have the engineering bay upgrade, but you just see the durable materials upgrade coming on there, as they are that much more resilient, and they are harder to snipe, as you can actually snipe the Hunter Seeker missiles, which, I mean, obviously a lot of you do know that. And if you don't, there you go, blam, you learn something new every day, as we will see a total of 5 gateways coming on for Copperhead. So Copperhead is going to be able to utilize the income that he is getting from the natural expansion there, as we do have a really exposed Colossus, but I mean, you can just take a look at those sexy slender legs right there, and it does look like Copperhead is going to be coming over here and clearing away these destructible rocks. Yes, and he is going to be doing that. As the, look at that range though, god, that range is awesome. This thermal lance upgrade was completed for Copperhead, so Copperhead is really going to be able to slice into this bio ball right here. But of course, now these Ravens can really turn the table here, especially if he gets a Hunter Seeker missile, as Copperhead will be forced to micro down those Hunter Seekers, and if he doesn't get them, then they're just going to wreak havoc. Also, he doesn't have blink, so he can't blink away from them. So we do have Copperhead moving out here. It does look like we are going to have an engagement here, as we do have the Observer kind of skirting the outside. So Copperhead learned from the earlier mishap of letting the Observer getting taken down. And right now, let's go take a look at the Army type. As they do engage, as we see a little bit of Hellion fire going down there. And we do see the defense, point defense, great use of those point defense. The point defenses are so powerful in taking out all of these shots from the Stalkers, but the Stalkers are microing down these Ravens, as the Ravens are not frontline units. Kentrolla is not doing a very good job of controlling his units in this fashion, but we do see some auto turrets being queued up, but luckily being dismissed, as we do see them stemming, trying to snipe these Colossus, as the Colossus were just tearing into these units. Let's go take a look at the kill count. You can see 5 kills, 10 kills, 2 kills. So most of the kills that were inflicted on Kentrolla were actually from those Colossus. So we do see another Colossus joining this army, and we do see the point defense turrets doing a good job of taking out some of those shots, trying to neuter the DPS. And we do see slight micro on those, which you see 2 of them fall, and the 3rd ball right there. So Kentrolla kind of backed up in a corner right here. He needs to make something happen here. He needs to snipe these Colossus. We do see one Colossus coming down. These medevacs trying their best to make the healing rays rain down on their little buddies right there, but all of the Ravens got sniped right there. Kentrolla having to retreat back into his main, as Copperhead is just pushing in here, and there's nothing on the table for Kentrolla to really retaliate in this, as the natural is going to be taken out from Kentrolla, so Kentrolla is going to lose that income here. And yeah, Kentrolla is really not looking so great. He is down, and I am thinking that he is out, as he is trying to float his orbital command away, trying to get away from these Colossus. This Colossus, God, 13 kills right there. Boom, another Colossus coming up here. He is really exposed right there, but that orbital command did die right there, showering the little bits all over those land forges. Kentrolla is pushing out one more time, trying to ward off Copperhead, but Kentrolla does see the futility of it, as there were more reinforcing units coming up here. So Kentrolla does end up losing this game against Copperhead. Copperhead does end up and goes to win the NAW number 2 diamond tier, as Copperhead did do a good job overall, and Kentrolla unfortunately didn't control his units appropriately, and I really feel that was once again the micro from Kentrolla was where he falters. Those Ravens could have really been a lot more dangerous and a lot more powerful than how they were utilized. But either way, both guys did a great job, better job than I would have done at this point, as I am woefully out of practice right now. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this. There will be no bronze, silver from this from NAW number 2, as the winner did not save his replay. So if you want me to cast your replays, you got to save them. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, citizens, stay safe.